What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, we are doing part 5 of the Larry Bird Magic Johnson courtship rivalry. We are going to hopefully finish it from not this part, but the next part. So part 6 should be complete, hopefully. And before we do, guys,
smash that subscribe button because we are en route to 100k.
Let's hit 100k. Let's do it.
The league was rejoicing too. Game 7 of the '84 series was one of CBS's highest-rated telecasts of the year.
Oh, damn.
And the highest-rated game the NBA had ever produced.
Wow.
All of a sudden, whether it was at CBS or Madison Avenue, the sports writers around the country became phenomenal. What is happening here? The absolute foundation in this resurgence was the Celtics and the Lakers, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
But Magic was in no mood to bask in the accomplishment.
I took a media beating.
Oh, damn.
Tragic Magic. This is why we say Larry Bird is better. It's probably the first time ever in my life I was depressed.
I think Larry Bird went through that as well, because the game where Larry Bird lost to Magic Johnson's team when they were both hyped up and coming, he got a beating as well by the media. So I reckon it's just one of those things. You just got to learn how to deal with it and move on.
The thing is that it's hard because I feel like when you've got such hype around you and the media doesn't help either, and then, the fans start, booing you, they start making negative comments about you.
It's true.
It probably makes you start questioning yourself.
Question your own ability.
Yeah.
And break your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want people to see me. It was something I never dealt with in my life.
Wow.
That particular series, that championship series, redefined his whole career because he never stopped working after that.
Magic was on a mission to prove to himself and the world that with the ball in his hands, he was still the one in control. And after his Lakers ran through the '85 season, he quickly got what he wanted. Another shot at Bird and the Celtics.
Uh-oh, again.
They won the East, we won the West. So it's like everybody just get ready, sit back, and let's enjoy it.
But that smile belied the intensity of the clash that awaited.
Oh, a bad foul.
If I had a glass of water and any of those guys had been on fire, I would have drank the water and watched them.
What the hell?
They called us, chokers and sissies. We didn't like that, and they thought less of us. I knew they did.
They were proper competitive, to the point where they're trying to harm each other. That's wild.
'85, we played them 4 times in exhibition season for some reason. I don't know why they scheduled that. By the 4th game, there was an all-out brawl.
Damn.
They call this one of the greatest rivalries in all of sport, the Celtics and the Lakers. And if that is true, it is the most one-sided rivalry in all of sports. 8 times these two have met for the NBA championship, and 8 times the Celtics have won.
At guard in his 6th year from Michigan State, at number 32, Magic Johnson.
But in the '85 finals, Magic changed the script. Over 6 grueling games, he masterfully controlled the pace with all-around brilliance.
He has a triple-double again.
Behind their point guard, the Lakers finally knocked out the Celtics.
No way.
Winning the clinching game in the Boston Garden.
3 in 6 years. LA.
Guys, comment below if you want us to do a reaction on that guy. I think his name's Abdul Kareem. Abdul something, comment below if I got that wrong. But the guy with the glasses, he's meant to be really a proper NBA legend. And yeah, I'm thinking if you guys want to see it, comment below.
He comes to Boston and wins the world title.
They won.
Redemption for one Magic Johnson. It's a long year last year to wait for this moment right now.
Magic had evened the score with Bird on the NBA floor. But the significance of their rivalry and their relationship was still just taking hold.
My God, crazy.
You crazy. I said, you're crazy. I'm not shooting no commercial with Larry. So I said, okay, what, we're going to shoot it in L.A.?
No way.
I would never went to L.A. to film it.
Well, where are we going to shoot it?
In his place.
Larry's place.
If you want to shoot a commercial, come to my house.
Oh my God.
The countryside.
I was like, oh no.
That's hilarious.
One stoplight. I thought Lansing was small. I think the plan was, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do, and I'm trying to get up out of here. My plan was that.
Even after Converse had convinced Magic and Bird to film a sneaker ad together in the summer of '85, a question remained. How would the two hated rivals on the court get along off of it?
I don't know how he's going to react. I don't know how I'm going to react. We didn't even shake hands, so how are we going to do a commercial together?
The ad was to be filmed at the home Bird had built for his mom.
Wow,
it featured a full-length basketball court, the day's first location.
So they say, okay, you're playing one-on-one, and I'm looking at Larry, and he's looking at me like, is this real? Are we playing? Because, you know, this is Magic and Bird.
I could just hear Larry, you know, starting in
that's
well, you bring it to the basket, and I'm going to send it 30 rows up.
So the guy was like, no, not like that. A fun game. We were both like, oh, okay. Like
they're all ready to get competitive with each other. That's hilarious.
Like, you can see this relief coming over both of our faces.
That brief détente led to the next stage, dialogue.
We sat down next to each other. How was your summer? Oh, it's going good. How was yours? It's going great.
Bit by
It's
bit.
a nice spread you got.
And he's asked me, is this where you play? I said, yeah, I play here if it's not windy. If it's raining or windy, I go to the gym. But this is where I do all my work.
I see that tractor. You work on the tractor? He said, man, I work on this tractor every day. Larry Bird work on a tractor? He said, yeah.
It's just them.
Well, he's going Playboy Mansion. Larry Bird's got a whole different lifestyle.
Different life. He's like a farm boy, isn't
Oh
it?
my
Proper.
gosh.
Two walking and talking, and every once in a while they'd stop and one of them would say something, and then they'd start laughing.
Then they said, okay, break, it's lunch break time. I was going to my trailer. He said, no, my mother has prepared lunch for us up at the house.
We went up to the house and we sat down there and we talked, and my mom, my brothers thought the world of him.
His mother was so nice, making sure I had enough to eat. I just saw my mother. It was crazy.
He charmed her. I mean, you can see it, but that's Magic. He makes everybody feel welcome.
Yeah.
And
He's got this
warm and-
aura about him.
Yeah, he does.
He's a con man.
I was going to say he's very likable.
Then on the pitch, it's a different animal, isn't it?
And while Magic charmed Georgia
That's
Bird,
not Magic Johnson.
it was
That's-
someone else who intrigued her
his name?
son.
No, his name's Ivan.
Yeah, Irvin.
Irvin, and then he obviously, but Magic Johnson on the court,
Yeah.
and then outside.
So
is,
they met Irvin, not Magic.
That's
That's who
it.
they met.
That's it.
He met Irvin at lunch.
Just as you said
Irvin
it.
is a good
That's
dude.
hilarious.
I like Irvin a lot better than Magic.
I was just so happy to finally be Irvin with him because
He's never
Magic
experienced
was
it.
like, I don't know if I want to get to know this guy. But Irvin got a chance to talk about family, how he grew up. We just became two relaxed guys, just talking.
That day was great. It was a great day. Beautiful day.
Still, for Bird, ever the competitor, that's all it was. Just one day.
Magic thinks the next year, okay, well, now we're great friends, so, you know, after the game, we're going to go out, we're going to have a beer. And Larry's like, no, you're right. I know you better. You're a good guy, but I still don't want anything to do with you.
He's a happy-go-lucky guy. If me and him got to be really good friends, go out on the court, he could still play the same game. I couldn't.
Yeah, see, I think that's what he said. Like he said, he couldn't play the same game knowing they're like good friends outside, but Magic can. So for him to stay competitive and to be at his best all the time and always want to compete and train hard, he needs that rival in his head. As soon as that rivalry's gone,
He's going to relax.
yeah. So he knew he can't be like that with him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
I respect it.
But when the ad hit the airwaves, for others, the perception changed.
I saw those limousines going through the cornfields, and I said, no, they didn't sell themselves out.
I heard Converse made a pair of Bird shoes for last year's MVP. Yep. But they made a pair of Magic shoes for this year's MVP. Okay, Magic, show me what you got.
This is the idea.
Oh, this is really a business thing.
The Bird shoe, the Magic shoe.
And maybe that's where the business thing started to get bigger and began.
I bet they sold like crazy though. You know how many sales they probably got off that?
And to trump who they both really were.
It polarized the whole idea of Lunch Bucket versus Hollywood, white versus black. Just cemented all the differences between them.
Kids weren't wearing black gym shoes because they didn't want to be associated with the Larry Bird camp. You wore your white Converse.
The basketball rivals had morphed into cultural warriors, and race, more than ever, had become an unavoidable part of the conversation.
Yo!
But nothing about Bird and Magic had ever been as simple as black and white.
One of the big reasons this rivalry became so emblematic of so many things is because it was an easy dichotomy for people to understand. But it's crazy to simplify it as saying white people like Bird and black people like Magic because 13% of the country is black. But it wasn't like 87% of basketball fans preferred the Celtics.
Who's your favorite basketball player? Magic Johnson. Who's your favorite movie star? Eddie Murphy. Pina, all you ever talk about is nigga this and nigga that. And all your favorite people are so-called niggas. It's different. Magic, Eddie, Prince are not niggas. I mean, they're not black. I mean...
Oh, God.
Let me explain myself.
Has the N-word ever been used by a white person to describe Irvin? I doubt it.
But as Magic enjoyed his image as a crossover star, it was Bird, the one-time great white hope, who had further emerged as the polarizing racial figure, due in part to that era's increasingly conservative political climate.
You know what it is? They wanted to keep this race thing going because that's where the money was. They wanted it to be a competitiveness. Like, even though they said like their friendship was and their relationship had nothing to do with race, and they didn't look at each other over race, like it wasn't a factor. But the media made it look like it's still a race war and this and that. That's why they said they concreted this whole race thing. Because there's so much money, and then that people pick sides and they want to support that side, so they put money into it. They just was milking it.
What colour was, because there was black and white Converses, what colour was Magic Johnson's shoe?
No. So Bird's shoe was black. Magic Johnson's was yellow, like the Lakers. But then they were saying people weren't wearing black Converses, like the black, like people in gym class, because they didn't want to look like they're associating with the Larry Bird one, even if it wasn't his official one.
Yeah.
They just sort of wear the white one just to show they're not.
Okay.
Like it's like became like a gang affiliation kind of thing,
So strange.
Yeah.
Rolling back institutionally of the achievements of the civil rights movement were going on apace from about 1975 on. But the triumph of the movement that rolled it back took place in the 1980s. And I think there was people who were very aware in the black community of what was going on. And I think there was a lot of sublimated frustration. And I think one of the ways it got sublimated was into basketball. And I think Larry, through no fault of his own, was the receptacle within which the lingering resentments somehow flowed.
And after Bird led the Celtics to the championship in 1986, his third in the pros, winning his third straight MVP award in the process, the resentment grew.
I always felt that the press was biased in favor of Larry Bird. It always felt to me like they were gonna make Larry the hero. You'd see somebody score and Larry would be in a cast in a suit on the bench and they'd say, Larry Bird made that possible a couple weeks ago when he told that guy he could do it, and he just did it. They gonna get his motherfucker the assist and he not in the game?
Not to be racist, but we have a white guy who's the best in the world. It's predominantly a black sport now. And you got a guy like Larry Bird who can't run, who can't jump, but can do everything out there.
That don't mean nothing to me. It don't mean anything to me. It never has. I don't know why. I mean, am I doing something wrong here?
No, he's doing something right.
He's just playing the
Bird
game.
may have
That's
sought
what
to
he's
avoid
doing.
the conversation entirely, but the more he
He's
won,
not thinking,
the
I'm a
less he
white
could
man,
escape
I'm
it.
doing this for my people.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ.
Nice.
What a play by Bird.
In
They were screaming
1987,
bad.
after Boston beat the Detroit Pistons to advance to the finals for the fourth straight year, Pistons rookie Dennis Rodman called Bird overrated because he was white. His teammate Isaiah Thomas then chimed in with some thoughts of his own.
His own teammates.
If he was black, he'd be just another good guy.
I can remember in the locker room, I think it was Jack McMullen came up to me and said, Isaiah just said, boom, 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 boom. And I go, so?
He didn't care.
Oh,
He
good on
didn't
him.
care. Everybody else around him cared.
Loads of people would have let that affect them, so he brushed it off, which is Wow, I've got to give that credit. I thought he was going to be pissed.
Very deeply in the days and weeks as it turned out ahead.
I mean, the media made it out like it was something, but it didn't matter to me what Isaiah or Dennis Rodman said, and it still don't. It has no bearing what I do in my life.
He doesn't see race. He really doesn't. And he could have.
Yeah, he could have over there.
This guy grew up poor, white, in southern Indiana. Southern Indiana, the home, by the way, of the modern Ku Klux Klan.
Damn.
How he managed not to be affected by the cultural milieu that he grew up in is, I think, a miracle. To me, it's inexplicable.
When I was in about 6th or 7th grade, I couldn't wait till school to be over because I knew over on the courts, the waiters from the hotel would be over there. They were black, older, and they let me play. You know, I always looked at that as I got an opportunity to play against a black man, and they treated me good. I couldn't wait to play against the best, and at that time, they were the best.
And in 1987, as Bird vied with Magic to be the best, the flap over Isaiah Thomas's racially fueled remarks forced Bird to address his least favorite topic at the worst possible time.
I had to go to a press conference when I was in LA trying to get ready to play the Lakers and tell people I didn't care, this don't bother me.
I have a feeling the fans are going to be pissed at him saying that because they want him to care. They want it to be like a thing, and the media pushed it out. They want to be like, as white people, we're the best and we should care. You know, I have a feeling this is going to bite him in the ass.
The main thing is if the statements or whatever was said doesn't bother me, I don't think it should bother any of us.
From playing all year, trying to get back to the finals and play against Magic, this was a distraction.
Bird was facing off against Magic for the 3rd time in 4 years. And if their relationship had softened, the determination to beat each other had not. As Game 4 proved, the level of competition between them was higher than ever.
Bird played awesome down the stretch of that game.
Trailing 2-1 in the series, the Celtics were down by 1 point in the final minute of the game. But Larry Bird wouldn't be easily vanquished.
Open his age. Bird goes for 3.
Good shot.
With 7 seconds left, though, the Lakers still had life. 3 years earlier in the '84 finals, Magic had flubbed a similar situation. But this was a different Magic, one with a whole new bag of tricks.
My man switched to Kareem, and Kevin McHale jumped out to me. As soon as I saw Kevin, I said, oh, I'm taking him.
You know, Magic puts it on the floor, a couple head and shoulder fakes, and he raised up in the air. And there was nobody that was going to get that shot.
Alley-oop. I think that won them the game.
I remember after they called timeout, thinking,
close.
there's still a shot here. Celtics may still win this game.
Well, they set up
2 seconds.
Bird walked Worthy all the way up, forced the denial all the way up.
We've done it before. Clear everybody out, go to the ball, and break to the corner.
Nice.
He caught it here, and as he caught it, all he had to do was turn. And he just turned, and he just let this thing go.
Bird fires it.
Got a wide open look, couldn't believe it.
And I'm standing right there. It is straight as an arrow.
Dead on.
And the Lakers have won.
They were lucky because it was right on line.
That is a hard shot to make, though. You know the ones that are like wide? It's very hard to make. Like, that's a difficult shot. It just would have been such a legendary moment if you scored it.
He looked at me like, how did you ever leave me that wide open?
You gotta be kidding me.
Changed the whole series. The Lakers won the series in 6. And in the aftermath of a year in which Magic had won his first MVP, the rivalry suddenly took on a new tone.
Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen, you know. Unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
I was shocked that he said it because I thought to myself, maybe this is the beginning of a new era that's not going to include him. It was the passing of the torch a little bit.
After vanquishing Bird in '87, Magic wasn't done winning. The following year, he squared off in the finals against his good friend Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons, beating them to become the NBA's first repeat champions in 2 decades. By the dawn of the 90s, he'd won 5 titles, played in 8 finals, and equaled Bird's MVP tally of 3. But the more Magic won, the less Irvin seemed to be around to reap the spoils.
Once I tasted the champagne and the championship, I wanted more of that and more of that. So Magic kept growing because we were successful. And the persona and all of that came with that.
Guys, we're going to leave it there. Hopefully we could finish it on the last part, which will be next Sunday, maybe. We'll do it. We're trying to do it weekly. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for the recommendation. Don't forget to subscribe. For now, peace out.
Bye.